Hi, I'm Bernie Skoch, and I'm honored to be with you today at GrayHat to discuss the Air Force Association's National Youth Cyber Education Program, also known as Cyberpatriot. I'm joined today by two of my distinguished colleagues, Rachel Zimmerman and Rebecca Dalton, who will give you more detail on the program in a few minutes. But as we begin this discussion, I'd like to devote a few minutes to why Cyberpatriot exists. The Air Force Association is a nonprofit organization, and for decades we've been focused on national security. Now, Cyber Patriot attempts to address that issue by attracting young women and young men to STEM education and careers. We're a youth cyber education program, and as you'll hear from Rebecca and Rachel later, that encompasses several components of the program. The biggest one is this youth cyber defense competition that you'll be hearing more about. But the overall purpose of Cyber Patriot is to attract students to STEM education and careers. Now, a beneficial byproduct of what we do is we generate interest specifically in cybersecurity. And we've raised up a cadre through the years that we've been running this program of bright young men and young women who've gone on to great careers in cybersecurity and STEM, and we'll be sharing some of those statistics with you. But what's important to understand is that Cyber Patriot is not only about generating cybersecurity talent, but it's also about generating STEM talent to meet our nation's needs. Now, one thing that's very important to understand is we're not hacker training. And we start everything that we do in any of the components you'll be hearing about in a few moments with a discussion of cyber ethics and why it's important to do only ethical things when these students are online. We don't teach hacking. We don't teach offensive techniques. Now, we're smart enough to know that if someone learns good defensive techniques, they're probably going to assimilate some of the information on what it might take to do some things offensively in the cyber realm. But that's why we focus so much on cyber ethics at the same time. But hacking is forbidden in the competition, and we teach only defensive skills. And it's also important to understand that we're not a recruiting tool for the United States Air Force or the Department of Defense or any government entity. This is about a national issue. This is about an issue for your favorite airline. It's about an issue for your favorite retail chain, for your favorite logistics company, for state governments, for municipal governments, for local responders. There's not a single enterprise in America that isn't focused on the need for strong cybersecurity posture. And we think we've got a solution to generating the talent that we need. I hope in what you hear later in this presentation from Rebecca and from Rachel motivates you to become part of our program, maybe as a volunteer technical mentor. So with that, I'll turn it over to my good colleague, Rebecca Dalton.
Thanks, Bernie. So as you can see, Cyber Patriot encompasses 5 programs. They start at the elementary school level and then advance through the middle and high school levels, and we also offer a program for senior citizens. The goal of all these programs is to either educate students on STEM education and careers or educate senior citizens about the importance of cybersecurity. We're going to start off with an explanation of the National Youth Cyber Defense Competition because that is our biggest program and that is how Cyber Patriot got its start. First off, let's take a look at the skills that students learn during the competition. It's very easy to jump down to the lower bullets, which are focused on the technical skills, which is great. Obviously, we want to teach them the technical skills that they need to go on to pursue a cybersecurity career. But what we think is more important are the top 3 skills, which are cyber ethics, leadership and teamwork, creative and analytical problem solving. Cyber ethics is always our first lesson. It's very important. Students can't go on and learn stuff before they understand the importance of cyber ethics. Additionally, leadership and teamwork is something that's not traditionally offered in cybersecurity programs. Of course, it's an opportunity for those students who participate on sporting teams or in various clubs like debate club or something. They'd have leadership and teamwork opportunities. Cyber Patriot creates that for students who wouldn't otherwise be involved in some of those other student activities. Lastly, creative and analytical problem solving is a huge skill that students learn in cybersecurity, and it's a skill that employers really look for on resumes. The competition itself is kind of a three-step process for getting involved. First, the coach registers the team. The coach can be a teacher at the school, a parent of one of the students competing on the team, or the leader of a youth organization. And that coach, once they register, adds the students to the roster. A student can have anywhere from 2 to 6 students per team. There's also the option to have a technical mentor, and we'll explain this a little more. That's the person who possesses the cybersecurity skills needed to really teach the students what they need to know for the competition. Once a team registers, they jump into the training. We offer at least 3 training rounds throughout the summer months into the early fall, so the teams can prepare for the competition. We also offer 12 training modules that are available to coaches at any time to share with their students. This training will get them ready for the first round of competition. Competitions begin in mid-fall usually, and every team is guaranteed 3 scored online rounds. They earn points for how well they find and fix cyber vulnerabilities, and the top teams advance to the national finals. Now you might be wondering, what does this competition actually look like? What are the students doing? Well, this is a picture of one of our competition images. An image is essentially a virtual operating system that we've purposely put cybersecurity flaws into, and teams are tasked with finding and fixing these vulnerabilities within a set amount of time. So in this case, this is a Windows image, and you can see the yellow box there is a README file, which offers a scenario for the students. So the students sign in, they immediately look at the README file, and they basically gather some information about certain policies that this imaginary company has that they have to follow. So as they go through the image, they find and fix these flaws, they earn points. For example, if they add passwords to all the user accounts, they might earn 10 points. But if they go and turn off their firewall, maybe they'll lose 5 points. So they're scored live on how well they are remediating and securing this virtual operating system. The operating systems vary from round to round. So we have, various Windows operating systems, Linux, Ubuntu, and Debian images. And the images get progressively harder as students advance through the various rounds. In addition to these images, students also have to complete a Cisco Networking Academy quiz and packet tracer exercise. Cisco is nice enough to offer Networking Academy access to all of the participants involved, which is really good training, so we do quiz them on that as well. It's important to note that in order to successfully compete, you do have to make sure that your host machines meet the minimum software and hardware requirements. All the software that's required to participate is offered for free, and we provide the download links for those. We also require certain hardware minimums, and that includes 64-bit processor, at least 8 gigs of RAM, 4 gigs might cause performance issues, and 40 gigs of free disk space. So there are some requirements that should be met, otherwise you might run into issues. But for the most part, students and schools don't really have an issue meeting these requirements because they work with their IT departments to get everything set up. The typical timeline for a competition is April to March. April's when registration opens and teams can start signing up, and throughout the spring and into early fall, students and coaches can access various practice rounds. So you see any blue box there is an unscored practice round. The registration deadline is usually in early to mid-October, and then the actual scored rounds of competition kick off in late October to mid-November. This year, because of coronavirus, we did have to limit it to 3 rounds because we needed to schedule extra time for teams to register. With virtual schooling, things were a little tricky to get figured out. But you see rounds 1, 2, and 3, all teams can compete in those rounds, and we're also offering the option for in-home participation. Typically, teams would meet at their schools in the computer lab, in a classroom, and would be together for the 6-hour competition. Because that's not always an option at this, current state of the country, we are allowing students to compete from their individual homes. Obviously, safety of the competitors is important, so we wanted to accommodate that. Competition growth has been really strong since the beginning of the program. In 2009, we actually had 8 teams that competed in the pilot program. If you fast forward to 2019, we had nearly 6,800 teams. So you can see from the chart here, the number of teams, which are the blue bars, and the number of students, which are the gray bars. The numbers have really taken off. 2020, we don't expect the registration to quite reach where it was last year for obvious reasons. A lot of schools had to cancel extracurricular activities, but we are still around the 5,000 team mark, which we're really pleased to see. The fees for registering are pretty modest. It's $205 per high school team and $165 per middle school team. But in a lot of cases, we will waive the fee for teams. Any school that's considered a Title I school will qualify for a fee waiver, and we don't make them pay. Any team that's an all-female team also gets a fee waiver if they apply for it. And that's because we're obviously trying to attract more young women into cybersecurity because it's a mostly male-dominated field. In addition to those 2 waivers, we do offer automatic waivers for junior ROTC, Civil Air Patrol, and Naval Sea Cadet Corps teams. And that's because of an agreement that we have with the service headquarters. The competition itself is split up into 3 different divisions. So students compete in either the open division, the all-service division, or the middle school division, and it's all based on what type of organization they're registered with. So the open division is our largest division, making up 53% of teams, and that's your general high school population. Regular students at public school, private school, really any type of school, or any type of youth organization, 4-H club, Boys and Girls Club, scouting units, etc. The all-service division makes up 28% of the teams, and those are for high school students who are part of either JROTC in any service, Civil Air Patrol, or Naval Sea Cadet Corps. And as I mentioned, those students don't pay any registration fee to participate. And then the newest division is our middle school division, which we added, I think, during our 6th season of competition. And that is for any student registered or enrolled in a middle school or registered to a middle school aged youth program. So it's one thing to have a large participation in the competition, but it's another thing to understand, is the program actually working? So every 2 years, we do what we call an Alumni Survey, and we reach out to current and past Cyberpatriot competitors, and we ask them what their plans are for the future, if they're still in high school, or what are they doing now that they've graduated high school or graduated college. So 75% of current Cyberpatriot students are planning to pursue STEM education STEM education or careers. And that is compared to a 20% national average. So that's fantastic to see. Of our students who've already graduated high school and are either in college or in the workforce, 84% of them are doing something in a STEM-related field. Again, that's compared to a 20% national average, so we're really thrilled with that. But we know that, well, maybe we're just already attracting these types of students. So is it because of our program, or were they already destined to end up there anyway? So we asked, how much did Cyberpatriot affect your decision to pursue STEM in college or a STEM career? 85% said that Cyberpatriot had a positive impact on their decision to pursue STEM. So I guess that goes to show the program is working, and we're happy to see that. So not only do we have a program in the United States, but we also have a couple international spin-offs. And these have come from the request of Northrop Grumman, who is our presenting sponsor. And it basically helps them establish leadership roles in cyber workforce development in each country. So the Cyberpatriot staff supports each of these events in some capacity, and Northrop Grumman does cover our costs that are associated with these international programs. So first is Cyber Centurion. It was established in 2014 and it takes place in the UK. So each year students from Great Britain compete in a very similar competition, just like Cyberpatriot, and they host their national finals in London, and we offer technical support at that event. We also have helped out with a program called Cyber Arabia, which started in 2015 in Saudi Arabia. And that's a little different. It's not a competition, it's more of a workshop where our staff members travel over there to teach on the men's and women's campuses of King Saud University. So the morning is instruction, and then the afternoon of the workshop is a miniature competition, and cash prizes are awarded to the top winners between the two campuses. Cyber Titan is a Canadian initiative established in 2016. These students actually kind of compete in two competitions. Cyber Titan teams compete as part of the normal Cyber Patriot season and are scored against all the other Cyber Patriot teams, so they are able to qualify for the Cyber Patriot National Finals, but they also then have their own standalone Cyber Titan finals with just the top 10 scoring teams within Canada. So they each year usually have over 200 teams participating, and they hold their national finals in Ottawa. And then lastly, we have Cyber Taipan, which was established in 2018, and that's the Australian version of Cyber Patriot, another Northrop Grumman initiative, and it's held with the support of Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organization. The competition has been adjusted to match their school year because the school year in Australia is quite different than the school year in the US. And they have their national finals competition in the nation's capital, which Cyber Patriot staff also offer support at. With all of these programs, whether it's Cyber Patriot or any of the international spin-offs, we really have a big push for female and minority outreach. Like I mentioned, we do waive fees for all-girl teams. In the most recent season, the 2019-2020 season, we had almost 350 all-girl teams registered. We've also had a couple all-girls teams qualify for national finals, which is really exciting for them, and it really, I think, encourages other girls to join the program. There's also been plenty of female-only sessions for AFA cyber camps, and we always try to highlight young women who are in Cyber Patriot in our promotional materials, in our newsletter, anywhere we can, so that other girls can see, okay, there are other girls competing, why can't I? So we're at about 31% female participation, which is over double the average for female participation in STEM programs. Same with minority outreach. We're always trying to, push strong recruitment in urban areas and engage with, certain youth organizations like Boys and Girls Clubs of America, Code 2040, NSBE. And the idea is, improved minority student recruitment and also mentoring. We have a strong presence in Los Angeles Unified School District, as well as San Antonio, Texas. So that, there's a large minority population there, so that's good. We're able to reach them. We're at about 48% minority participation in the competition. So it's pretty clear how a student can be involved in the competition, but let's talk about engagement opportunities for other individuals. If you're a college student, if you're a cybersecurity professional, if you're a teacher, here's how you can get involved. You can register as a team coach, or if you're tech savvy enough, you can register as a technical mentor. to be a coach, you don't really have to have any technical knowledge. You're just really giving the students the opportunity to participate. The technical mentor is the one who really comes in and helps with teaching the technical concepts. These individuals, because they're not usually tied to a school, do need to go through background check before they are, part of the database that coaches can access to find a mentor in their area. If you don't want to really volunteer in one of those roles, you can, sponsor a team in your area. You can fund their registration fees or donate equipment, or, offer a space where they can compete if they don't have, a usable space. And just even more simple than that, you can promote the competition to local schools, spread the word, or attend the national finals competition. Hopefully we can have it in person in 2021, but really just supporting those students who are involved. A little more information on technical mentor and team assistant. The technical mentors are there to teach the competitors the skills they need for the competition. Some technical mentors are really experts in one specific topic, whether it's Windows, Linux, Cisco networking. But really, coaches will take any help that they can get from the technical mentor. We have coaches who are English teachers or music teachers, and they've only signed up because they wanted to give kids the opportunity to participate, but they're like, I don't know how to teach this stuff. So that's where technical mentors really come into play. And you can offer as little or as much time as you want with the team. That's a relationship that you make with the coach, and you guys work out your schedules as you wish. Team assistant is a role where you don't actually need technical skills, but you still want to help out with the team. So it's more administrative. You can, schedule meetings or arrange for a pizza to be delivered during a competition, whatever it is. The time commitment on either role is very flexible. And again, teams just really like having any help that they can get. So that is the competition. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. One of our staff members can help. But I'm going to turn it over to Rachel Zimmerman now, and she'll talk about the other programs that we offer.
Now that you've learned more about the competition, let's start to cover some of the other programs that Cyberpatriot has, starting with the AFA Cybercamp program. AFA Cybercamps are 20 hours of curriculum that organizations can purchase and then host camps locally. They are available in both standard for beginners and advanced for students who have prior knowledge of cybersecurity or for students who have previously competed in Cyberpatriot. The camps are designed to be given over 5 4-hour days. We were able to hold over 300 camps in the summer of 2020, despite the complications of COVID-19, and many camps needing to cancel and the remainder of camps needing to go virtual. This slide shows what is covered in each of the camps. Also included in the camp curriculum is demonstration images where the students get hands-on time to execute the things and the concepts that they are learning about. The last day of the camp is a mini Cyberpatriot competition where students get to put forth the knowledge that they've learned throughout the camp. Camp registration is open from February 1st through May 1st. There are many ways to become involved in AFA Cybercamps. You can host a camp in your local area or volunteer as a camp instructor or classroom assistant. You can also financially support a camp by covering their registration fee or by donating equipment or a facility to a camp. Many camps also are looking for guest speakers where the students can learn about different jobs in cybersecurity. Another great way to be involved is just to help promote at the AFA Cybercamp program to local schools or organizations. Next, we'll talk about the Elementary School Cyber Education Initiative, or ESCI program. ESCI is a set of 3 interactive learning modules or games that anybody can download for free from the Cyberpatriot website. We have had nearly 10,000 downloads since the program launched in July of 2015. The ESCI program has Cybersecurity Showdown, which is geared towards K through 2nd grade students, and is available in English and in Spanish, and Jeff OS and Packet Protector, which are geared towards 3 through 6th grade students. The next program is the Cyber Education Literature Series, which is 2 books that we have published that pioneer the topic of cybersecurity to elementary school youth. The first book is called Sarah the Cyber Hero, and the second book is Ben the Cyber Defender. Both books are available for purchase from our publisher, BookBaby, or from Amazon. Ways that you can be involved with our SD or literature series is by helping promote the programs to friends and family or to local schools and libraries. You can also purchase copies of the books and donate them to local libraries, or host a story time with Ben and Sarah, either virtual or in person. The last Cyber Patriot program is Cyber Generations, the Senior Citizen Cyber Safety Initiative. This is a set of free curriculum available for anybody to download from the Cyber Patriot website and to host a workshop in their area. The workshop curriculum covers things like password management, why you shouldn't have the same password for every single account that you have, malware and ransomware, marketing and fraud schemes, which often target senior citizens, and social media awareness, why you shouldn't answer that social media quiz that's giving away your password recovery questions. It also provides self-help resources for people who may have already become a victim. We also have available a virtual workshop on the Cyber Patriot website since COVID-19 threw a wrench in a lot of our plans to have workshops across the country. There's also a self-paced guide that individuals can download for free. The last thing about this program is that we're working on a tech caregiver program to energize our Cyber Patriot competitors to become more active in teaching senior citizens about cyber safety. How you can become involved in Cyber Generations is to host a workshop in your area, whether in person or virtual. You can also volunteer as an instructor for another organization who's hosting a workshop in your area. You can also provide a facility or space for a workshop to be held. And the last thing you can do is to promote the Cyber Generations program amongst your family or amongst local senior citizen centers or in your community. Cyber Patriot is only made possible thanks to the generous sponsors that support our program. Much thanks to all of them for their continued support. If you have any questions about the Cyber Patriot program, feel free to reach out to us at info@uscyberpatriot.org. Thank you for joining us today.